All right, hello everybody. Rebecca, welcome to the stream. How are you doing, hon? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, we got a treat for you in tonight, guys. We got a suggestion by one of my viewers earlier today, who suggested that I play this Heroes Rise, a game I'd never heard of, but definitely a game right up my alley. This is a text-based game. If you guys have heard me do a lot of these live streams before, games like Zombie Exodus and other games like it, this is a completely graphic-free, completely sound-free, simply me reading to you. And the person who suggested this game to me suggested that I play this and said I would love it. So we are going to try Heroes Rise the Prodigy. The better news is, guys, it looks like my internet problem from the past like 4 months has finally been fixed. Knock on wood. I've went about a day and a half now, and every time I've checked it for the past like 36 hours, the quality has been amazing with like no drop frames. So far, it looks really good. We're about 3.5 minutes into the stream. Not a single drop frame yet, which is very rare for me like the past 4 months. So cross your fingers, everybody. Hopefully we can get back to these nightly live stream under the Moonshines, and tonight is a real test of that. Now, I did play a couple of games of Dead by Daylight with Rebecca earlier, and she is a pretty good player, I gotta say. Good stuff, good stuff. All right, let me go ahead and fix my YouTube chat, guys. It'll be just a minute here while I fix that. All right, Heroes Rise, the Prodigy, Part 1, Legend Has It, Chapter 1, Homeward Bound. A helicopter blade slices through the air, inches away from your face, filling your nostrils with the smell of burning metal. You don't have time to possess this, however, as a ball of flame unfurls in your direction. You leap onto a neighboring rooftop and tumble around a smoldering chunk of engine. Today was supposed to be your day off, but when you saw a news chopper careening out of control above the city, you couldn't just stand by like a common pedestrian. As you pull clear of the wreckage, you see that the ejected pilot floats high above the rooftops from a parachute, one that is crawling with licks of flame. It won't be long until the parachute burns through and the pilot drops hundreds of stories to his death. How are you going to save him? Rip up the cables that run along the roof and use them to lasso the pilot down? Doesn't sound like too bad of a choice. Use the zip cord from your wrist holster to reel in the pilot. Or forget the pilot. He'll be able to steer himself onto one of the rooftops. It's much more important to stop the burning wreckage from falling to the busy streets below. Wow, what a choice, huh? I would think the last one would be better, because if that helicopter hits the busy streets below, it's going to kill more than one person. And I would think my priority would be saving many over saving the one. But the question is, how are we going to save him? Right here. How are we going to save him? The question isn't how are we going to save the people in the city. The question is, how are we going to save him? So because of the question itself, I'm going to think that this one is not the right answer. What do you guys think? Rip up the cables that run along the roof and use them to lasso the pilot down. Or use the zip cord from your own wrist holster to reel in the pilot. That doesn't sound... Would my zip cord from my wrist holster really be that long? I think I'm going to say the top one. It sounds like it's probably the only one long enough to maybe reach him. Well, let's go ahead and try that, guys. Let's try to rip up the cables that run along the roof and use them to lasso the pilot down. I have no idea. You reach down to pull the cables off the roof, not noticing the danger high voltage sign on a nearby ledge. Oh no. You tug on the cables and scream as electricity rips through you like 1,000 needles. Oh no. As your vision fades to black, you remove the virtual reality helmet. Oh, woo! We were playing a virtual reality game. All right, woohoo! I thought that was real. I like this already. So as your vision fades to black, you remove the VR helmet to end your 3D gaming experience. You blink several times to adjust the sunlight in the room, which pours in through the sleek glass windows. Then you look across the conference table at a buttoned-up executive eyeing you. So, what do you think? They really ramped up the graphics, right? She blurts out. Oh, don't spoil the surprise. Take the game home for your full report. You can collect your advance from your front desk on your way out. Thanks, as always. You are the virtuous reality best game tester, but this executive still doesn't even know your name. You force a smile and remind her that you are a guy named or a girl named. Interesting game. Yeah, I didn't come up with this myself. I was suggested to play this game by somebody that was watching me play earlier, Dead by Daylight earlier. We're going to say I'm a guy named, create my own, Sean, Paul, Louise, Shane. I want to be Shane. I've never been Shane before. Let's be Shane, goddammit. The only reason I say that is because I do remember an old Western movie called Shane. I think it's like 1958. Man, it's an old movie. Good movie, though, about a cowboy named Shane who meets a boy. A text-based game, yes. Alright, so we're going to be Shane, goddammit. Right, Shane, always a pleasure. The executive then strides out the door, no doubt on her way to a more important meeting. So you walk toward that front desk alone, thinking that you'd much rather be out there saving a real helicopter crash than testing out fake ones. But hey, at least this pays the bills. Though not very well, you think, as you accept a deposit for $100 at the front desk. Adding this amount to your bank account brings your grand total to $2,100. Not exactly rolling in the dough now, are you? Reminds me of the 80s. Hey, I read a text adventure that I really liked in... there's a couple that were pretty good, actually. But Zombie Exodus was really good. Yeah, Zombie Exodus was just like this, and I really liked it. So I read that on LiveStream for, I think, 31 or 33 hours. You can check it out. I have a playlist on Zombie Exodus. I think it's like it's over 30 hours long, if you add it all up. Alright, so we push all the thoughts of our money problems from our mind as you exit the bustling streets of Millennia City. Nestled on America's west coast between Los Angeles and San Francisco, Millennia City sounds made up. But anyway, Millennia City is a shining beacon of 22nd century progress, not to mention the city you've called home for your entire life. You step into the crowd next to a woman whose skin is covered in fishy scales, each one reflecting a different color. You suppose this might surprise some people, but not you. New York City has finance, LA has entertainment, DC has politics, and Millennia City has heroes. It's the powered capital of the country. Alright, so we got Millennia City in California, home of all the superheroes, I guess. And we are now in, what century? 22nd century, so about 150 years from now, it sounds like. Okay. A fact you're reminded of as a sonic boom pulses through the air. You look up to see twin blondes rocketing across the sky, a cloud of smoke left in their wake. You sigh, knowing that you belong there with the legends instead of down here with the masses. These days, 1 out of every 3 people is born with powered abilities, and pretty much every one of them wants to be a hero. Especially now that powered heroes have eclipsed movie stars and music icons to set the standard for an A-list celebrity. You'd also love to be flying home right now, considering you have the power to fly. However, after one too many gruesome mid-air collisions, the Department of the Regulation of Powered Resources, the DRPR, designated the skies for government licensed travelers only. So flying is definitely off limits for you. But do you let that stop you? Absolutely, heroes are meant to enforce the law, not break it. Or of course not. I was born to fly, no matter what the damn law says. No, I think if we're a superhero, I think we better abide by the rules. Hey, even though we see cops and stuff like that speeding down the boulevards all the time when there's really no reason for them to be speeding, at least I notice that. I think we should be a law-abiding citizen. So we are going to say, yeah, we're enforcing the law, not breaking it. I mean, how are people going to respect us if we're out here being a superhero breaking the laws all the time? Breaking the law now will only hinder your heroic rise later. So you know you'll have to be patient, extremely patient, considering that if you're a big-time hero, you could be flying home in a fraction of the time. As you walk down the Metro Wave platform, you pay for the ticket by rolling up your sleeve and accessing your meat chip, a bit of personal tablet technology embedded in the underside of your wrist. Not too long ago, people used paper slips to pay for things and little plastic devices for phones. But that was before all communication, identification, entertainment, and banking functions became standard in meat chips. I like the term meat chips, that's funny. Each meat chip becomes fully customizable with robotic personality programming that adapts to your habits and desires. There are 3 standard templates available for the robotic personality. So you decide to go for the polite butler, the sassy diva, or the supportive caretaker. I don't know. This is kind of a weird choice. I mean, let's try to figure out what kind of a person I want to play. But I remember always liking Spider-Man as a kid. And I liked Spider-Man because he was sarcastic. And I think I would want to be like that a little bit if I was a superhero. I think I'd want to be a little bit funny, humorous, and definitely sarcastic. And the best choice here that kind of matches that the best is going to be a sassy diva, I would think. So we're going to go with a sassy diva, even though we're not a female. And we're going to start being a smart ass, or hopefully, making some funny lines. We'll see if that plays true. All right. And then you decided to name your meat chip Diva. Diva Aretha, Diva Whitney, Diva Hallelujah, Diva LaClarkson, or create your own name. Your meat chip Diva, I don't know. Diva. How about Diva Dava? Diva Dava. There we go. Perfect. Oh no, it's meat chip Dava. That's fine. Your ticket is paid for, sugar. Meat chip Diva says inside your head, sounding snappy. All meat chip functions are connected directly to your senses. So Dava floats in front of your eyes, thanks to holographic imaging wired to your retinas. Only you are able to see the meat chip Dava, who appears to be a drag queen wearing roller skates. What the hell? Oh my gosh. I transferred $2 from your account, so you best enjoy the ride, okay? Dava says before fading away. Alright. While waiting on the platform, you spot an old-fashioned newsstand and decide to reward your flying restraint with gossip magazine. Usually, you try to get your hero news from more credible sources, but you secretly love the trashy magazine. So we basically have a National Enquirer here, huh? The gossip magazine. So you skim the screen that runs across the newsstand, looking over the digital covers displayed. And then you wave your meat chip, aiming to purchase Hero People $3, the Dirt Rag $1, or Capes and Cowls for $5. I'm just going to go with Hero People. Nothing too cheap, nothing too expensive. Why not? Actually, the Dirt Rag might be better. The Dirt Rag will probably be funnier. I don't know. Let's try the Dirt Rag. Specializing in the comings and goings of famous powered villains, most of the articles in the Dirt Rag are pure fiction. Occasionally, though, the Rag does have some credible leads or aspiring heroes, or for aspiring heroes like yourself. 30 minutes later, you finally emerge from the metro way in your neighborhood, Millennia City's eastern fringes, which consist mostly of public housing projects, pawn shops, and liquor marts. Despite its lack of charm, the fringes are still home, so you start to relax as you approach your apartment building. Now, I wonder if we're actually in the slums because of my choice on that magazine. Had I chosen the more expensive magazine, would I live in a richer part of town? I don't know. I used to play text games back in the day. A loud crunch of glass snaps your senses to attention. Half a block up, you spot a body that has been thrown through the windshield of a car. Oh no, a teenage boy with writhing snakes coiled around his outstretched arms stands on the sidewalk nearby. Before you can even blink, the body in the windshield leaps into the sky. It's another teenage boy whose woolly knees bend backward like a goat's. Slugger, you curse to yourself, another animal gang fight. The eastern fringes are home to a large portion of animalistic powered population, widely known to have the most interspecies tension. There's an especially fierce feud between two local anti-gangs, the Cloven and the Scales. The Goat Boy bounds through the air. Snake Boy reacts. His arm snakes surge forward, straightening their impossibly long bodies and clamping onto the Goat Boy's thighs with their teeth. Snake Boy then whips his arms back, using the snakes as levers to smash Goat Boy into the pavement. Knowing Goat Boy won't be able to survive much more snake thrashing, you run towards the scene and... Wow, this is a pretty far-fetched game. I mean, I really like Zombie Exodus, and I'm not saying Zombie Exodus is any more realistic, but this is pretty out there. I tried to write a text game using C++. I never finished it, but it was fun to do. Yeah, there's a lot of software. If you want to write games like this, actually, I know that Choices Plus, or whoever it is, Choice of Games, who publishes all these games on Steam and on like mobile devices and everything like that, Falconer. I know Choice of Games has a free application that you can write your stories in, and so you can make a story just like this with software that'll let you just write it up, provide the choices, and you can write whatever you want, and then you can submit it to them, and they will, like, they review these kind of games, and they may buy it from you, or, you know, give you a percentage of the money. I don't know how all that works, but potentially you could write a story that they could publish, and then you could make money from it. So something you might think about if you say you enjoyed writing books like this, or writing, you know, choose your own adventure kind of stories like this. Definitely check it out. It's on Choice of Games. I'm sure if you go to Choice of Games website, you can go down to the bottom. There's somewhere where you can look at the software and you can look at all the information about, you know, what it takes to get a game published and start making some money at it. So definitely check that out, dude. Yeah, this game is really out there. Alright, so knowing that the Goat Boy won't survive much of the snake thrashing, I guess I'm going to run and try to split up this feud. Jump into the fray, striking hard and fast, or hang back and contain the situation from a distance. Yeah, I'm not so sure that I want to jump right into the drama. I mean, I don't really even know what's going on or why they're fighting, so I think I'm going to hold back a little bit. I hope nobody gets killed or hurt because of it, but I think we don't know a whole lot about what's going on or why, so I think I'm going to hold back. So in addition to your flight powers, you also have the ability to generate in wheeled surges of energy. Which power do you want to utilize here? I could generate an energy wall to separate the teams, power cost of 5, or fly Snake Boy into the sky to detain him, power cost of 2. I think I'm just going to go with a higher choice here, and I think I'm going to create a wall between them. That sounds pretty cool. I don't even know how much power I have. Let's check that out. I think showing stats should show that. I have power 100. Okay. And money 2,097 because I spent $3 on that stupid magazine. Oh, and $2 on a ticket or something. Health 100. And all this is unknown. Okay. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and spend 5 to split these guys up, I think, since we have 100 power. Okay. Palms facing outward, you concentrate on activating your energy powers. You feel a familiar pressure build up in your forearms and visualize a wall between the teens. With one push, a burst of energy erupts from between the fighters, crackling through the arm snakes. The Snake Boy screams, releasing his grip on Goat Boy. Well, hopefully we did the right thing there, huh? With Snake Boy diverted, you turn your attention back to Goat Boy. He's already bounding up the street, bleeding curses as he flees away, which is just as well. Your only goal here was to stop the teens from killing each other, since getting involved is technically an illegal act of vigilantism. Before any powered individual can start a career as a professional hero, he or she must apply for a powered hero license. To lessen the number of applicants, the DRPR makes the process rather lengthy and expensive. You've completed all the paperwork and passed the paper. I can't say that word. Power. What is that word? It's one of those words I have a hard time. Competencies test, but you've been saving up for a while to pay the hefty application fee. Okay, so we got to pay a big fee to be a powered hero, and we can't go being a vigilante without having that license, I guess. So, with the Goat Boy gone and the Snake Boy neutralized, it's time to leave before you get into any unnecessary trouble. They were at it for almost 5 minutes and no one did a thing. You turn around to find a mother and her young daughter standing on the sidewalk, both looking relieved. The mother presses a tissue to the little girl's forehead against a small cut. They were blocking the door to our building, the mother says. We tried to run inside but got hit with some debris. Those anti-gang fights have been getting so much worse lately. Anyway, I do want to go ahead and thank you for wait a minute. Who do I have to thank for stopping them? Tell her who you are. The neighborhood needs to know that you're watching over them. License or no... Oh, so she doesn't know that I put the wall between them and stopped them, huh? Okay. Or stay anonymous. You do not go do good deeds like this for the attention, especially since it's not even legal. Yeah, I think I want to stay anonymous here. Alright. And I'm just doing my part to keep the neighborhood safe, you say, shaking her hand. Well, thank you, the mother says. And the little girl says, Are you a real life powered hero? The little girl whimpers, gazing up at you. Oh, yes, he is, the mother answers. And you say, Just get home safely, you guys, you say as you continue toward home, not wanting to admit that you aren't a real hero. At least, not yet. Alright, so Falconer says this game's really out there. I enjoyed the programming, but it is cool that they are making it easier for people who do not program to make games. It takes a long time to learn how to program, and it can be really hard to fix the bugs. Yeah, true, Falconer. And especially something like this. I mean, you would hope that you wouldn't have to know advanced programming techniques and graphics, you know, how to program graphics and all the sophisticated stuff that needs to go on to make a game like this. Yeah, I mean, they have tools available for people that just want to write stories like this. Yeah, it's interesting. Do not admit to illegal activities. So it's kind of the irony here is that I'm trying to be a superhero, but I'm staying anonymous and trying not to get my ass thrown in jail. Irony, irony. And see, my reading has already put my son to sleep. My son sleeps out in the living room, and I think he started sleeping out here on the futon beside me because I think he sleeps better, like when I'm up late or whatever and he hears me talking. I do think it helps my son go to sleep. So me reading this story, Heroes Arise, probably helped him go to sleep. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and continue after talking to the mother and the little girl who thanked us for splitting up that fight. When you finally walk into your apartment, you're hit with the familiar fragrance of flowers. That's thanks to your grandma, who is also powered. Her special ability enables her to cook food. I'm just kidding. Her special ability enables her to communicate with plants. So as far back as you can remember, Grandma has filled your home with every kind of flower and foliage imaginable. Your apartment has always felt like a lush greenhouse, and you couldn't imagine it any other way. You drop your bag near the door and approach your favorite flower. So now I'm choosing my favorite flower, a Golda, a Bronzina, or a Gun definitely it's got to be a Gun Metalia. I mean, who doesn't like silver or futuristic looking grays, right? Let's do that. Gun Metalia is a silver rose from a species of metallic foliage that Grandma has spent years breeding. You lean in to get a whiff of the rose, which always smells faintly of caramel, another one of Grandma's unique touches. I'm afraid Gun Metalia has been especially cross with me today, Grandma says, entering the living room. I had to de-thorn her this morning, and now she feels particularly vulnerable. You know how roses get about their thorns. Such a sore point. Well, tell Gun Metalia I think she's still a stunner. Thorns or no thorns, you say, approaching Grandma. You know Grandma better than anyone, so you would describe her style as simple, elegant, kooky, or practical. I'm already kind of thinking this Grandma is pretty wise and pretty sensible, so I think I'm going to go here probably pretty practical. That sounds like a logical choice. My grandma used to read me stories like this. The stories bring back happy memories. I like pink or red flowers. Nice, man. Grandma mostly cares about tendering her plants. So she wears overalls with gardening tools in the pockets and keeps her hair tied back at all times. You kiss her hello, then step back and point to the new video game that you brought home. Oh boy. Another whopping virtuous reality deposit to add to the pot. Well, every little bit helps, you know that, Grandma says. Now, if only I could teach one of these little darlings to start growing money for leaves. Huh. If anyone can do it, Grandma, it's you. Walking towards the kitchen. What are we going to have for dinner? I'm starving. But you stop short as you see a feast laid out on the kitchen table. It appears that Grandma has cooked your favorite meal. Happy birthday, she says with a grin, hugging your side. Aw, how precious, guys. Love it, love it, love it. Grandma made us our special dinner. Did we even know it was our birthday? I didn't know it was our birthday. I don't think I've read that it's our birthday. But Grandma is so proud of us. She's happy that we bought a video game, happy that we're making money. She only wishes that, she could grow plants that would grow money as well. And so it sounds like we're kind of struggling to make ends meet. But I tell you what, I'm already liking this Grandma. What about you guys? So she's hugging her side, and she made us our favorite dinner. I'm going to guess it's going to ask us what our favorite dinner is now. It's going to say, and your favorite dinner consists of what? Oh, maybe not. You finally push your plate away, your stomach uncomfortably full. You love Grandma's cooking, but it's usually pretty heavy. It's all meat and bread and pasta, since vegetables tend to scream at Grandma when she tries to eat them. Well now that you've eaten a proper meal, I can finally give you your present, Grandma says, turning to a shelf above the table where several potted plants sit. Their leafy vines hang down across the wall and create a lush green curtain. Guadalupe, would you please? And at Grandma's request, the nearest vine swings toward you, and an envelope nestled between its lowest leaves. Go ahead, take it, Grandma practically squeals. I just can't wait any longer. Knowing it'd be useless to object, you open up the envelope, which is made of a silk fabric, never paper, and you pull out a card made entirely of dried rose petals. Oh, how cool is that? Grandma never lets anything go to waste, especially not the remains of her best friends. And while this rose card is especially lovely, you're really stunned at what's inside. Wow. Grandma's the best for the birthday surprise. Absolutely. I gotta admit, I gotta confess, Falconer, that this whole grandma birthday coming home to grandma has made me like this story, this not visual novel, this text adventure, I guess you'd call it. Really not a visual novel. There's nothing to visualize unless it's your imagination. But this whole grandma part of the story has definitely made me like the story a lot more than all the fighting and heroics that started it all off. Yeah, this is a part of the story I'm liking right here. It's a brand new DRPR issued powered hero license. What? What didn't we just find? Didn't we just talk about how expensive it was and how we were saving up for that, and we hoped one day we'd be able to afford it? And Grandma bought us the powered hero license. What a cool fucking grandma! I'm just saying, this grandma is freaking awesome. What do you think, man? Love it. Boy, I'm in love with this grandma. You read the license, double checking the information listed out to make sure it really belongs to you. Department for the Regulation of Power Resources Hero License. Name, Shane Sterling. Gender, male. Marital status, single. Orientation, none. Since the 21st century political disputes regarding sexual orientation in marriage, the government has required all citizens to declare their orientation along with their marital status. You may think it's a bit of an invasion of privacy, but it was a required field on your application. So, you answer that you are attracted to, here's where I say I'm attracted to men, women, or both. Well, I've never been gay or bi-curious, so definitely a woman for me. But hey guys, you know, if you're watching this and you are a man attracted to other men, or a man attracted to both, or a woman attracted to women, whatever, that is the kind of choices and the options you'll get in pretty much all these choice of games novels I've ever read. It seems like it always asks you, you know, what is your sexual orientation? How much of a difference it makes in the overall story, I have no idea, but it says that every choice you make matters. And your code name is Conduit Charge SFX. My code name is I think I'm going to create my own, since I'm actually reading this novel to you guys. I think my code name is going to be Reed, but sometimes I read things wrong, so we're going to spell read incorrectly, as in read. My code name is Reed. There we go. You stare down in disbelief at the license. Grandma has just given you the best birthday present ever. How? You start to ask, not even sure where to begin. Someone just needed to pay the outstanding bill on your application, Grandma says, beaming. But Grandma, this is too much. We can't possibly afford... Now hush, Grandma says, crossing arms. I had to spend all that extra potpourri money on something useful now, didn't I? Grandma smiles at you, then looks at the tree in the corner of the kitchen. She nods, and right on cue, the tree begins to shake, letting loose a shower of sparkling seeds. Grandma only has the old tree shake shimmers on the most special of occasions. Aw, thank you, Grandma, is all you can manage. It's only what you deserve, Shane, Grandma says, leaning back in her chair and stroking the shimmer tree. Besides, it's what your parents would have wanted. Wow. Grandma's freaking awesome. I'm just saying. Yeah, how can you not love Grandma after that? Bought us the best birthday present ever, and it says that right here, and spent all her extra potpourri money on something useful, and she really loves us. But if you go to think about it, I think most grandparents love their grandkids and want to do everything they can to make them happy. So this grandma is right in line with, I know, what my grandparents always were. My grandparents always, you know, did everything they could to try to make me happy when I was a kid. So we're going to go ahead and go on to chapter 2, guys. Chapter 2 by the Roots. Once upon a time, your parents, the Sound and the Fury, were Millennia City's most famous powered couple. When they met in high school, they discovered that your mother's ability to generate vocal sonic waves perfectly complemented your father's ability to harness sound energy. Almost immediately after they arrived on Millennia City's hero scene, the public became enamored with their budding romance and their harmonious power set. As they rose rapidly to the hero A-list, no villain was too dangerous for them to battle, and no party was too exclusive for them to attend. This meant that you got to spend your childhood immersed in Millennia City's finest hero high life, knowing that someday you would fight alongside your parents as a famous hero. Until your 13th birthday. It was going to be the best night of your life, the first time your powers might begin to manifest. Your parents were at a press conference speaking about one of their recent successes, shutting down an assassin training academy masquerading as a public high school. They were supposed to say a few words about the mission and then come straight home to celebrate your big night. However, just as they were preparing to leave, a young villainess crashed the event. She was Miss Artillery, one of the Assassin Academy's teachers, and she entered ranting about how the Sound and the Fury had ruined her life. She quickly went on the offensive with her power to generate weaponry, and your parents moved to apprehend her. But for some strange reason, perhaps because they were in such a rush to get home to you, they miscalculated their joint attack. Oh no, they hit each other, oh no. In what became this biggest news story of the year, the Sound and the Fury murdered Miss Artillery by, they did murder her, but they murdered her by liquefying her brain, snapping her spine, or blowing out her heart. Wow. The Sound and the Fury, huh? I don't even know. How would they have, I'm going to say they snapped her spine. I don't know. While your mother disoriented Miss Artillery with a shot of sonic vertigo, your father moved to physically disarm her with his sound-enhanced strength. You still don't know whether your mother miscalculated the power of her sonic boost, or if your father misjudged the pump-up he had received. Either way, when your father grabbed Miss Artillery, her spine crumbled like rubble beneath his fingers. Wow. This certainly wasn't the first time a hero had accidentally used a fatal force against the villain. Traditionally, this mistake would require a fair amount of community service and a hefty fine, especially for heroes of your parents' caliber. However, this accident came on the heels of a recent excessive hero-on-villain brutality, and their case fell into the hands of Judge Vertron, an up-and-comer who was making to play to become Millennia City mayor. Deciding that a harsh ruling would set a perfect example for the zero-tolerance campaign against heroic brutality, Judge Victon passed the harshest sentence to ever pass any powered hero. Citing a murderous misuse of powered ability, he sentenced your parents to a life term in the Devoid, a maximum security facility for the powerheads, and without any visitation rights. Oh my gosh! Well, I was right. That is messed up. That is messed up with the spine. So we have no visitation rights to our superhero powers, who have a life term in the Devoid, a maximum security prison. Damn. The last time you saw your parents was on the day of that infamous sentencing, right before the police escorted them to the Devoid. You'll never forget the image of your mother and father in orange jumpsuits, handcuffed and shamed, and their spirits completely broken. Judge Victon wouldn't even let them hug you goodbye. Man, that's messed up. Your mom couldn't stop crying as the police escorted her away, but as your dad followed, he turned to you and said the words that you'd come to live by. Don't let this stop you, Shane. become a hero for us. Wow. That's kind of freaking sad, I'm just saying. Your father could not have known the profound effect those words would end up having on you, especially after his unjust treatment at the hands of the legal system. And as a result, you have a very strong belief regarding the law. I respect the law. It may not always be right, but it's the best and the only system we have. Wow, I wish I would have known this before I chose to follow the rules about not flying home myself. I would have said, screw that, I'm flying home myself. Save myself a few coins. I'll always follow the law in order to avoid my parents' fate. However, I don't necessarily mind getting a bit creative with the law if the situation absolutely calls for it, or I have no problem with breaking the law. But if I try to follow it, I do try to follow it whenever it seems reasonable enough. I think with that, having that in the back of my mind, and my parents being in a prison for only trying to stop a villain, a bad villain in that, and accidentally killing her. I mean, obviously it was an accident. It was a misjudgment on their part. I think I'd be pretty bitter at the law, and especially that judge who sentenced them to a lifelong sentence in prison without even any kind of visitation rights. I think I'm going to say that I'm going to be creative when it comes to law, but I will try to follow it because I still want people to respect me. I don't want everybody out there seeing what I do and thinking they could break the law. But yeah, I don't think I'd be able to follow it completely, just being honest. So we're going to choose that one. And then after the trial, your parents' considerable fortune was transferred to Miss Artillery's estate. What? What? She got the money that you were assigned to live with your only living relative, your grandma. However, moving in with her wasn't quite so simple. Over the course of their careers, your parents had amassed a deadly collection of enemies, each of whom would be thrilled to seek revenge on the Sound and the Furies now, their defenseless family. So the court enrolled you and Grandma in the Powered Family Protection Program, the PFPP. You and Grandma were given brand new identities. The Sterling name was assigned to you, though you at least got to keep your first name. Grandma suddenly found herself forced to live on a pitiful PFPP stipend, and you had to move you into a small apartment on the eastern fringes. She also had to pull you out of your fancy powered-only private school and enroll you in a local public school. In the course of just a few months, your life became entirely unrecognizable to you, and it has never really been the same. That's why every day you remind yourself of who you really are. Your real name is... Your real name is, Lee. We're going to be Lee. Why not? I like the name Lee. Ever since I played The Walking Dead, and Lee from The Walking Dead, that's a cool name. We're going to be Lee. God damn it. Alright, so Shane Lee was no more, giving away instead to Shane Sterling. And you found that the Sterling vision of yourself was vastly different, forced you to grow up way faster than anyone ever should. Back in the kitchen, you look across the table at Grandma. She's the only other person in the world who understands how you feel. After all, she was forced to abandon the life she had built over the 70 years to enter the FPPP with you. Despite this, however, Grandma has still managed to start over and find a way to be happy once again. And without her, you'd have had no shot at becoming a hero. God, thank you, Grandma, you repeat, fighting against the lump forming in your throat. Oh, hush up, Grandma says, wiping at her cheeks. What are you waiting for? You've got a career to start. Aw, what a sweet Grandma. You run into your room, where you've made sure not to keep any plants since you don't need Grandma's best spice hanging around. It is decorated plainly, but what truly makes the room yours is the wall filled with framed posters of your favorite powered heroes. Featured centrally are your parents in their classic Sound and Fury costumes, right next to your favorite powered hero, Rebellion. He has been your idol ever since you were a little kid. You've got plenty of other posters on your hero worship wall, but whose career do you want to emulate most? The team players or the solo heroes? Rebellion, leader of the Millennium Group, MC's #1 powered team. The Everman Brigade, MC's most prominent work for hire team. Static, the Eastern Fringe's current champion. Or Black Magic, MC's latest hero heartthrob. I think I'm just going to go with Rebellion. I mean, it says here that that's my favorite powered hero, so I think that being my favorite powered hero, whoever the Rebellion is, I think that would be who I'd most want to be like. So we're going to choose that. Rebellion was initially raised among the meek, a fervent anti-powered cult. He eventually broke free of their influence to become a shining symbol of powered progress, doing everything from fighting in the Third World War to receiving the very first Millennia City's Hero of Tomorrow HOT grant and making the highest honor possible of any aspiring hero. Rebellion also reshaped the Millennial Group, which has been MC's most famous powered team for decades. The group has gone through countless roster changes, the hero of which you know by heart, of course. Today, the group's roster consists of Rebellion, the team's long-standing leader, the Diva, the wickedly powerful team matriarch, Fistful, a steroid-pumping muscle from New Jersey, nice name, Fistful, Monk, a spiritual guru turned hero, and Processor, an artificial intelligence strategist and information hub. Okay. Today's group roster. Every morning you stare at the hero wall and envision that your own poster will look like what your own poster will look like among these famous heroes. Peeling your eyes away, your attention wanders down to the video game you're supposed to be testing out. Now that you have your license, you can finally quit the game testing job, since there are dozens of ways for heroes to earn a living. Most of these paid jobs are very difficult to obtain, though. You've heard the horror stories about the endless lines at the DRPR to collect power heroed unemployment. Still, you don't think twice about tossing the video game in the trash and reaching for your most prized possession, your Reed costume. As you suit up, you pull a mask over your face to protect your identity. Even though no one would recognize you as a Sound and Fury's child, now that you're all grown up, you don't need anyone discovering your sterling identity and coming after good old grandma. You've been perfecting the right costume for a long time, since it's your calling as a hero. Knowing this, you've chosen a color scheme that's all tones of black and metal gray for intimidation, bright and bold primary colors to get noticed, black and bronze, the colors of Millennia City's flag, blue and gold, the colors of my favorite hero Rebellion, or red and silver, the colors of my parents' Sound and Fury costumes. I don't think I want to do theirs, my parents, because I don't want anybody figuring out that I am their kid. And I think I want to be different than my favorite hero, Rebellion. Black and bronze sounds like a pretty cool one, because I am trying to be a hero of the city. I don't know that I necessarily need to intimidate people. I think I'm going to go with the city's flag. Black and bronze. Yeah, we'll do that. Every time you put on a costume, you can't wait to use your powers. So you snap your fingers, generating a small pop of energy, which also happens to be your favorite color. Pink, blue, black, yellow, white, or red. Well, I'm going to go with my own favorite color here, and my own favorite color is going to be a deep blue, so I'm just going to go ahead and choose blue. As the pop of blue energy fades, you look over your costume in the mirror. Knowing that style without substance means very little, you've also chosen design features that amplify your powers. Truth be told, you've been able to afford your hero license way sooner if you had spent so much money on your most prized upgrade. And if you hadn't spent so much money on your most prized upgrade. Parachute panels for maximum maneuverability. Rocket backpack to channel excess energy and add propulsion to my flying. Or thin tubes throughout my costume that collect and channel excess energy for shielding purposes. Let's go with parachute panels for maximum maneuverability. I think I'd want to be able to maneuver and dodge things. All right, Falconer, have a good one, man. Have a good day at work tomorrow. Sleep well, buddy. And thanks for being here, my friend. Yeah, you could probably finish up with whatever I have left of this live stream under the Moonshine when you get home tomorrow or whenever you find best suits your needs. But anyway, sleep well, Falconer. We're going to go with maximum maneuverability here, I think. Alright, this defense upgrade also allows you to fly at normal speeds without lowering your power level. It's an invaluable resource while in the field. Alright, that sounds good. And as you stand there in your perfect costume with all your intentions set, you realize that you're finally ready to start your hero career. But becoming a legendary hero means more to you than just fulfilling your own dreams. It's also about redeeming the Lee name. You have one ultimate goal: to become an A-list hero and reveal to Millennia City that you are actually the Sound and Fury's child. You know that achieving this level of success is the only way to restore honor to your parents and redeem your family's legacy to the hero world. And because it's so important to your end goal, one central question constantly plagues you. Is your rise to become a legend, or in your rise to become a legend, it is more important to focus on achieving fame or upholding justice? Yeah, I think I would want to protect people and do what's right. So I'll need everyone to know my name to get to the top. I don't care what they're saying as long as they're talking about me. No. Having people know who I am is going to help, but only if my reputation as a hero is worthwhile. It's vital that I uphold justice first and foremost, but that doesn't mean I can't smile for a press once a mission is accomplished. Or always doing the right thing will make me a hero worthy of legend. I'll get to the top by never compromising my commitment to justice. We're going to do that one. We're going to do the one that sounds the most noble because, I mean, after all, we are a superhero in this game, right? Alright. Not telling your mother your name earlier tonight was just the beginning. Your first priority will always be to uphold justice. And if you do that, your fame will come all on its own. For having the courage to begin your hero rise, your legend has already increased. Your legend level is the most important meter for gauging your success in the hero world, and is affected not only by the decisions you make, but also by any fluctuations in your public image. Rebellion's legend is the highest on record, an astounding 100, and that is your ultimate goal. Your legend level is tracked on your hero license. You flip it over to see that you've got a long way to go since your current legend is a lowly 1. Oh no. Of course, this plastic version of your license is simply a keepsake. Your official license has already been scanned and uploaded into your Me chip. Kudos on your license, sugar, Me chip Davis says, appearing to be in front of you once again. You best work that career, honey. Thanks, Dava, you say, smiling. How you doing, Ryan? What's up, my friend? Alright, you then take a moment to check your hero statistics by clicking on the Show Stats button located at the top of the screen. The choices you make throughout your career will be reflected in the statistics and levels listed here. You also know that in turn, these stats and levels will significantly affect the course of your hero career. The choices you make will have a very real consequence, so be sure to choose wisely. Alright. Ryan, welcome to the stream. Falconer just left to go to bed. We are reading another text novel adventure that was suggested to me just this morning when I was playing Dead by Daylight. But the more important thing here, Ryan, and I think you're going to be happy about this, ever since yesterday, about midday when I checked my internet to see what the quality was after 4 months of my internet quality being garbage and not allowing me to live stream, is that for about a day and a half now, we've had a super high quality internet here at my house, and it looks like they might have finally fixed my freaking internet. after 4 months of having nothing but shit. So this is the best internet quality I've had since probably October, and I think my PC is back. Yep, if my PC wasn't back, I wouldn't be here doing a live stream under the Moonshine. So finally, knock on wood, let's hope it doesn't go back, because it has teased me before. Sometimes I check it and it would be really good for like, the most it was ever good for was for like an hour or two, but then it would go back to being really bad. Right now, we're almost at 2 full days of my internet being really good. So this is a good test right now. I've been live streaming for over an hour now, and get this, guys, I don't even have a single drop frame right now, and my drop frames was the problem and the reason I couldn't live stream for the last 3 or 4 months. So 0 drop frames right now. This is amazing to me. I'm extremely happy, and I think you guys are too. I can tell Ryan's happy. Your PC is back, finally. So I figured a text adventure, the suggestion I got earlier to play this game, was probably a pretty good game, and I went out and bought this game. It is a $5 game called Heroes Rise the Prodigy. It is on Steam. The link is in the description. And so far been pretty interesting. I mean, it's still trying to, we're still getting our feet wet here. Kind of making all the choices that's going to determine who we are and what we're about and all that good stuff. But yeah, we've been reading for about an hour now. It took me about, I think, 20 minutes to set up the stream and get all the chat and everything working, or halfway visible and all that. So, is that timber I hear in the background? Probably. Yeah, you probably heard timber. Alright, so, Deva, you say, move the show stats button to my home screen, and you all look insane talking to those electronic voices in your heads, Grandma says from the doorway. That's why I simply refuse to have any one of those machines implanted in me. It just doesn't seem right. Well, that sounds like something a grandma would say. I know how you feel about the meat chips, Gran, you say, turning towards her. And it's annoying because now that we've done away with the landlines and cell phones, there's no way of getting in touch with you. Which is precisely how I like it, Grandma says. But look at you, a born Lee hero. Well, this born hero had better get out there, you say, shaking off your nerves. This career isn't going to start all by itself. Wait, before you go, Grandma walks towards you, and you see that she holds an envelope in her hands. Your stomach drops. Wow, the last envelope she gave us was a very expensive hero license that we had been wanting and had been saving up for a long time, and she gave us the best birthday gift ever with the last envelope she handed us. Now she has another envelope before we go on our professional hero way. What could this be? Something tells me this envelope isn't going to be so happy. I gotta say, I'm not the biggest fan of text novels. I prefer the visual ones, but I'll stay. This one's been alright so far. I mean, and her stomach drops. It's such a big day, Grandma says, her eyes on the floor. They'd want to be here so badly. Oh, wow. Your jaw goes tight. You know exactly what Grandma wants you to do. While the devoid may not allow its prisoners to have any visitors, it does permit them to receive letters. So for years you wrote to your parents telling them everything about your life. You thought writing those letters would make you feel better, but it really only made you feel worse, because the devoid doesn't allow its prisoners to write any letters back. It's been years since you've written anything. Grandma looks up at you and your heart feels like it just might break. Oh no. Oh no. Oh man. Alright, no problem, Rain. I'm sorry, you say. But you know how I feel about this, Grandma. You don't write letters to your parents anymore because it's too painful. I'm angry that my parents had to abandon me. I need to learn how to live without them. I don't know what to say. I'm going to say that not being able to see my parents or even be able to get anything back from them would be pretty painful. I don't think I'd be mad at them or anything like that. I think it would just be hurt. It would either be painful or I wouldn't know what to say. But I'm going to say it'd be painful. I mean, if you didn't have any parents, that'd be pretty hard, I think. So not writing letters to your parents proves just as difficult as actually writing to them. So it's a task you try to avoid thinking about entirely. Grandma knows this, so she doesn't press the issue. All right, Shane, Grandma says, fighting to keep her face even. Now I want you to listen to me. Please be careful out there. Lord knows I won't be able to sleep until you're home. I will, I promise, Grandma. Well, then off you go, she says, drumming up a smile. And do try to kick some butt, okay? Huh. Good old Grandma. Ready to go, you step up on your Windows 14th story ledge and look out over the grandeur of Millennia City. One of the advantages of living on the eastern fringes is the spectacular view of MC's iconic skyline. You take a deep breath, letting the energy of the city run through you. Standing on this precipice, you can't help but wonder what kind of hero you will become. And will you be able to survive long enough to achieve the legend status you crave? The choice is up to you, you think to yourself, right before you jump off that ledge. Alright guys, next chapter, the lowercase. I think we're set up for our mission to become a legendary hero of this fictitious Millennia City. The next chapter, the lowercase, will be one we will continue with a future live stream under the Moonshine, probably here in the next few days. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and continue Heroes Rise. It hasn't attracted a lot of attention here, but I can't read. I don't like reading for like hours and hours and hours and hours. I've already read about an hour, so I think that's a good stretch here. Tara, how are you doing? What is going on, my girl? So we are going to go ahead and stop here, guys. And just to look right here now, our code name is Reed. We have not much fame yet, a lot of justice. We are being really lawful with the decisions we've made already. We're more defensive than we are offensive, and we're more of a team player than we are a soloist. Hey, this kind of reminds me of a little bit of how I play Dead by Daylight, I'm just saying. Your relationships, family 90%, Victon 10%, and then we don't know about these or what they are yet. Alright. Always like in these text adventures from Choice of Games, I always like to look at these statistics every time I end a chapter or whatever. Kind of see how they're varying. Alright, Tara, how are you doing, hon? Good to see you. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this live stream on the Moonshine number 191. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'm probably going to jump back. Not for another live stream on the Moonshine, but probably just to play some Dead by Daylight or probably to do something else. So I want to go and thank you guys for being here. Wait a short while, guys. I will probably be back after I do a couple of errands and do a couple of things. So Tara, hang on, girl. I will be back with you soon. Good to see you as always. And we'll be back here in a short bit, guys. Thanks so much for being here. Love you all.